All right, guys, I hope everybody can see my screen now. Just a second. All right, so guys, the focus is very simple in today's workshop. We want to understand how to use structured query language, the language which databases speak in order to analyze large amount of data that may reside in a large data repository. But before we take that step, I want to just go through some basic fundamental things about data and database, so that we can, when we are into the SQL coding, then we do not face some small basic fundamental questions. So what is data? So data is the smallest logical division of any fact or any information. For example, let's say you apply for a credit card application. You apply for credit card application, a new credit card application, right? So you apply for credit. You apply for credit card, your new credit card application. So what are the data points that you will end up giving to that bank? Think about it. So the data points that you will end up giving to the bank would be which ones? Your first name, your last name, your date of birth, your email ID, your phone number, all these. So those become the actual logical division of data, right? And if you imagine this being collected, then you would actually, then this data that you provide as part of the application, that gets converted or that gets stored in a tabular format. Tabular format meaning, let's say your first name, your last name, your DOB, your email ID, your phone number. All these becomes the column headers of a table. Does make sense, everybody? So that is called as a table, and these fields are called as the attributes of the table. Okay, or the fields or the column headers of the table, right? So what is a database then? A database is a collection of several such tables. Really, nothing fancy. Database is a collection of several such tables. Imagine this table is called customer table, right? So a database will have multiple such tables in it. Now, a lot of people ask me that, is a database a physical storage place? Do we really store this database in, where do we really create and store it? So really, it's a software which allows you to create tables. So a database management software or database management system allows you to create many databases in it, right? And each database can contain several tables in it, right? And each table can contain several columns. These are columns. These are columns, and several rows. These are called as rows, right? And each row can contain several cells. So you can see these, each one of them is a cell, right? So that's how we classify. So a database, so it's like a hierarchy, right? A database can have several tables, which can have several columns and rows, and a row can have several cells, right? So the smallest point in a data is this. Say for example, if my name Pratik and last name is Agrawal, and whatever the date of birth is and whatever the email address is, right? So the fact that this is my date of birth, that is the smallest logical division of the data. I get what? And so that's what we call it as a raw data, right? And database is a collection of several such tables, right? So that's what a database is, and a databases are created and stored in a database management system. And what are the popular database management systems in the world in today's time? Oracle by a company called as Oracle, PostgreSQL, which is open source, free, IBM's DB2, database 2, Microsoft Access and Microsoft SQL Server by two famous database management systems by Microsoft. MySQL is also open source and free, but this company, this particular tool is owned by Oracle. So Oracle has one very famous enterprise-wide application database management system called as Oracle, and it also has a free one which is called as MySQL, right? So these and there are several other database management systems. But the beauty of learning these database management systems is that they all are very similar in their functionality, and they all also support one common language. And what is that language? Let's say I am a human being. I want to give an instruction to this database, right? Let's say I want to find out those customers who were born in the month of December, right? I'm specifically interested in finding those customers who were born in the month of December. So how would I find that? So in order to find that, I will need to give some instruction to the database, and that instruction I can only give to the database if I can speak the same language as the databases speak. So what is that language which databases speak? What do you guys think?
English.
English. Well, it's close, but it's not necessarily proper English that you and I can speak. It's actually SQL, which is very English friendly. You will see the SQL commands that you will learn today. You will see that they are very, very English friendly, right? SQL, or structured query language, was designed by two famous scientists from IBM in late 1960s and early 1970s. And they designed SQL out of frustration, saying that all these business users keep coming to us for every small query. So they said that, why don't we design a language which is English friendly, that any person who knows English properly should be able to use that computer language to get whatever information, to get whatever data from databases. So that's how SQL was started, right? So anyway, SQL is one language which all databases speak. That is the use of SQL. That if you know SQL, you can literally work with all these databases because they all support the same language. Hence, SQL is one of the top 3 skills to know for any data scientist or any data engineering folks. Top 3 skills to know. Even though SQL is so old, it was designed in early 1970s, so it is good, almost more than 5 decades old, yet it is extremely popular. Why? One, it is English friendly. Second, it is very easy to learn. Third, it was designed for non-technical users. That means it was designed for non-computer science folks, right? So because of these 3 reasons, right, it is universally used even now, right? So that is the use of SQL. Now, where does SQL fit into the entire decision-making process, which we call it as data to decision wisdom? You see, we start with data. Any question that you have, any business question that you may have, let's say in your wardrobe, you want to find out how many blue color t-shirts do you have, or how many white shirts do you have, right? So it's a business question. It's a question that you have. Now imagine you're standing right in front of a smart wardrobe, which keeps a track, which keeps the data of all the clothes which are inside and all the clothes which are outside of the wardrobe, right? And let's say you are verbally asking this question, hey, smart wardrobe, please tell me how many white colored shirts do I have? And let's say the smart wardrobe answers you that you have 5 shirts, right? So that answer that you will get, you will get it only if that smart wardrobe has a database where the data about the shirts which are inside and all the description, all the columns or attributes about each shirt or each cloth is stored, right? So the first thing that smart wardrobe will need is your database, right? So if you want to summarize the data, that means there's a summarization, right? Because you want to find out how many shirts do you have. You're not looking for list of all the shirts that I have. So you want to find some information after summarizing it. So that summarization, right, in order to create some knowledge, and the knowledge that I'm creating is that if I have 5 shirts, 5 white shirts, then maybe I'm okay. I don't need to buy more shirts, more white colored shirts. Maybe I want to buy more blue colored shirts, right? So that is the knowledge, that is the business decision that I may have. If you're working for a large credit card firm, and if there are a lot of people who have applied for credit card applications, you want to find out that how many people have applied for new credit card at what age group. Let's say 100,000 people have applied for new credit cards. You want to find out how many percentage of customers have applied out of 100,000 customers for the new credit card in this age bracket, right? So that is called as summarizing the information, because that summarization will help us create some insights or knowledge about the data, right? Imagine out of the 100,000 customers, 100,000 customers that applied for credit card, imagine that 5,000 of them, which is 5%, were below 30 years old, 55,000 were in this age bracket, 35,000 were in this age bracket, and rest of the 5,000 were in this age bracket. Once you have this kind of information, this kind of knowledge in front of you, then you can easily create an insight. You will say that 90% or maybe 90% of my customers were customers who were aged in this age bracket. Meaning, further simplifying it, make it in plain English statement so that the CXO of the company can also understand. You will then say that, you know what, our advertisement campaign for the credit card app, for generating credit card leads, right, on new credit card applications, was able to attract middle age people, and most likely middle-aged people with dependents, because that is the age group that we're talking of, 31 to 40, 41 to 55, right? So this is called as summarization. This can also be achieved using SQL. But this can also be achieved, as you will see tomorrow and day after, using reporting tools like, what are the reporting tools that you guys know of? Any other reporting tools that anybody can think of? Any reporting tool that can anybody think of?
Excel.
Tableau.
Right? Excel, Tableau for data visualization,
Power BI,
Power BI,
Google Data Studio,
Data Studio, and Python
Datorama.
also. Python, R, these are also SAP. These
Python.
are also
Looker.
reporting tools. Any tool that would help you summarize the data, slice and dice the data, allow you to work with the data in order to create various different reports would be called as a reporting tool. But remember, these reporting tools are not the data repositories. You do not end up storing data in Python and Tableau and Power BI. You end up storing data where? You end up storing data in databases.
SQL.
Yes, SQL.
Not necessarily SQL. Through SQL, these reporting tools can interact with the databases in order to get whatever data that they want.
Yes, we can link the SQL with the reporting tools, and we can visualize according to the visualize on the particular tool that was the condition of the particular company. Absolutely. Or whatever the condition.
So what he's trying to say, Gagan, here is that in the reporting tools, you can actually, through SQL, you can link to the database. For example, in Excel as well, by the way, You can go to data. I mean, using Excel, you can go to get data. You can connect to any of these databases, or you can write your queries here, your SQL queries directly. But essentially, SQL allows you to connect the reporting tools to the actual data repositories. Is it making sense, everybody? Yeah. So SQL becomes important there as well. Is it clear? Alrighty. Great then.
Yes, sir.
Now, we have spoken about where SQL fits into the entire data decision-making process. We have also spoken about some of the basic terminologies like what a database is, what a database management system is, or a software is, which allows you to create the databases and tables and whatnot. We have spoken about what a table is. We have spoken about what the columns are and what the rows are. Now let's see these live in action. And we will also see that how SQL can be used to send instructions to the data sets or to the databases, and also to extract data from within the databases. Yeah. Now, since the flavor of today's time is to not do anything locally in your local laptop or desktop, we will also not try to run SQL queries on local laptop or desktop. We will run SQL queries on a cloud platform. What is a cloud platform? It's like renting a machine, computer machine, from these three super power of cloud computing. For example, you can rent your processor, your storage from Amazon Web Services, AWS, from Microsoft Azure, a Google Cloud Platform, or GCP, right? You can rent spaces. Space meaning you can rent processor, you can rent RAM, you can rent storage, you can rent graphics as well, or you can rent complete machines, right? Now, today we will see how to run SQL queries on extremely large data using Google's cloud platform called as BigQuery for SQL. Okay, so that's what we will do, and I'm going to tell you, I'm going to explain you how simple it is to do all these things on cloud, on Google Cloud Platform. Right now, let's open any Chrome browser and search for Google BigQuery SQL sandbox. Write this sandbox. Okay, just search, and the first hit that you will get on Google Chrome is this one, using the BigQuery sandbox. This BigQuery sandbox environment, provided for free by Google Cloud Platform, is for people like you all who want to learn SQL without paying anything, and run SQL on large data sets, on terabytes of data sets as well. So here, if you scroll down, getting started with sandbox, you can read further on this, but you just click on this, go to BigQuery. And when you go to BigQuery, I hope everybody is able to follow me so far. Now, when you go to BigQuery, guys, you will see something like this, right? On the top, you'll see sandbox at a billing to upgrade. Do not worry about it. Just click on dismiss. Now, it did not ask me for any login and password. Why? Because I am already logged into my Gmail. So if you're also logged into your Gmail in Google Chrome, then it will also not ask you for anything. Okay. Once you are there, so can you all confirm that you are there? You're able to go to Google.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Already. Great.
Yes,
then.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Now, a couple of things that we will do here. Okay. Couple of basic things that we will do here. We will create a project. Okay. We will create a project. In that project, we will create a data set. A data set is nothing but a database. It's the Google's word for database. Nothing but a database. And in that, Pushpita, can you go on mute, please? unless you have a question. Thank you. All right. In that data set, we will create tables, right? And we will create multiple tables, right? Now here, instead of creating table from scratch and importing or inserting the data individually, each row by row, we will import table from our local files. So we will import. Is it making sense? These are the things that we will do. If you want, you can take a screenshot, keep it in a Word document, take a screenshot and keep it in a Word document or something. I will also take a screenshot and I will come to my Excel sheet here and I'll just paste it over here somewhere. Right next to where we had this. It's pretty big. Anyway, so this we will refer to. Essentially, what we are doing is, I don't even have to refer to this. Essentially, what we are doing is that in Google's Word, we are creating a project. We have one more level project, and then another project we will create a data set. Another data set we will create tables, right? Multiple tables, right? And here we will import the data. Okay. Now, let's go back over here. Now, how do we create a new project? In order to create a new project, what you need to do is you need to go to something over here. Do you see this? It says right now Cricket Analytics. So I will go over here. When I go over here, you will see new project. So let's create a new project, right? It says you have 7 projects remaining. For you, it must be saying 12 projects remaining. So you get, it's a free environment. You get around 12 projects to experiment with. But you can always delete one of the projects that you've already created. Let's name it relevantly, this project. Let's name it as Cricket Analytics. And let's give it a name, November 2021. How about that, right? This is the project name. If you want, okay. The project name cannot contain underscore, cannot contain any spaces. And I would rather have everything in small cases. Remember, it can't contain any spaces. No underscore allowed as well in the project name. Do not have to select the organization here. Click on create. And when you click on create, it'll give you something like this. Okay, it says project is just created now. You can select the project from here, or I will tell you another method to select that project that you created. This is the project drop down. So if you go over here in the project drop down, you can select that project, right? And it will probably create a new tab as well. Now, if you now notice, this is the project that we just created. I will just pin it. Just come over here and pin it so that it's always over here. Okay, it's always over here. Now, if you notice, there is a drop down right next to it. When I click on this drop down, it shows nothing. Okay, it shows nothing. Why is it showing nothing? Because I have not created any data sets in it. I've created a project, which is a blank project. Now I want to create a data set. So how do we create a data set into this project? So if you click on 3 dots here, then if you click on create data set, then over here on the right hand side, it'll ask you the project ID, which is the same. It'll now ask you for the data set ID. It says letters, numbers, and underscores are allowed. No other special characters are allowed here in data set. So let's name it as cricket. Just let's name it as cricket. That's about it, right? And let's go to the data location. Let's select the first one, doesn't matter. US multiple region. Enable table explanation. Do not worry about, don't select it. Then it says create the data set. So let's go ahead and create the data set. Got it, guys? Now, look at this message. It says cricket created. Now, if you look at the drop down here, there is a what is this created, guys? Anybody? This is the project, and what is this?
Data set.
It's a data set
Dataset.
equivalent to database. Always remember this. Yeah, this is equivalent to database. Database is same as data set. Does it make sense? Now, if you look at, there is a drop down here, but again, that drop down will have nothing in it because we need to create. What is the next thing that we need to do?
Tables.
We need to create tables. Now, if you click on the 3 dots here, whenever in doubt, go to the dots. Now here, if you say open, delete, create table, of course, I don't want to open, there's nothing in it. So I'm going to go to create table. When I go to create table, if you notice here, it says create table from an empty table. And if there is a drop down here, so I click on the drop down, it says empty table from Google Cloud Storage. That means Google Cloud Storage, upload, drive, Google Cloud Big Table, Amazon S3, which is like Google Drive. So I'm going to upload it from local file. I have already gotten the tables in my local computer. Let me show you those tables as well, and then we'll come back to this step. So let's go to these 2 files. The first file that you see over here is this file. The name of this file is T20 series file, T20 series. And what do we have here? So we got series name, famous series name. You can see series name. We got season, in which season it was placed, 2003, 2003 and 4 season. Who was the winner of that match? What was the margin of winning? Okay. NA means that there was no single winner or not applicable in that particular series. For example, T20, this margin will only come if there was a bilateral series, only two countries played or 2 teams played. This is a series ID, right? Winner. Sandeep, you have a question? Already. Great. All right. Okay, now, so series, season, winner, margin, series ID. So these are the columns which are there in this particular table, this particular Excel CSV file. You can see this is saved as a comma separated values file. It's not a normal Excel XX file. It's a comma separated values file, which is a common file which can be read by any databases, any reporting tools. It's not a Microsoft proprietary .xlxx file. Okay, it's a common data file format, right? So generally, if you have the intention to to copy the data from one reporting tool to another, or one database to another, or one database to a reporting tool, normally we save the files in a CSV file. It's very light, takes very less space as well in your memory. Now let's look at the other file that we have, other table that we have. Now this table is called as T20 matches. If the other one was series, which contained important series and the series ID was also there, this table contains match ID wise data for different series, because one series may have multiple matches in it. For example, India is playing New Zealand right now, test series, right? So this series has multiple test matches in it. So this is the match ID, series ID, match details, some description of the details, the result, which team won by how many wickets or how many runs, the scores. This is the scores of the 2 teams. This is the date given in this particular format, YYYY-MM-BB. The venue of the game, the round, would not worry about it. The home team and the away team, which team played at home, which team played at away. For example, India is playing at home with New Zealand right now. Who was the winner? Win by what? How many runs? Win by how many wickets? right? Balls remaining, innings won, who played, inning once runs, how much was there, inning once wickets, how much was that, inning once overs batted, how many overs were, the first team played, innings two runs, innings two wickets, inning two batted, overs batted, and inning two overs, and that's about it. So let me quickly ask you one quick question. What is the common column between this table, the matches table, and the series?
Series ID.
Sorry, what is that common column, guys?
Series ID.
Series ID.
Series underscore ID. You can see series ID is there in this table as well as in this table. What is missing in this matches table, which only the series table has? This is the series table. What does the series table have?
The match IDs.
No, the match ID is in fact only there in the matches table. So the question is, what does the series table have that this matches table does not? The
Series name.
The series name, right? The series name is there. The season is there, right? I think the winner and runner was there also. Doesn't matter. Arjun is there.
Match ID is not there.
Right? So some information is there in this table and some information is there in the matches table, right? So that is why we will import both the tables, right? Both the tables are stored as .csv file, .csv file, okay? And I am going to upload these two files. If you're watching on YouTube as well, I'm going to upload it after the session is over in the in the YouTube description of the video. And for the folks who have joined in the live session on Zoom, I'm just uploading on the chat window. You can actually download the two files as well from the chat window if you want. Give me a second, just uploading the two files. The first file is the matches, the CSV file. Oh, okay, let me close that. Let me upload it again. So I uploaded both the files on Google, on Zoom. If you want, you can download that right now, or you can watch the recording on YouTube once the session is over, and you can also do that. Now, coming back over here in the Google BigQuery platform here, guys, if you notice, we were at the stage where we wanted to create a new table. That means we want to import the data. So I want to create table from upload, right? I will browse. It will give me an option to browse, then upload, browse, and then I will select the table one at a time. It will automatically understand the file format. The destination project is this, right? The dataset ID is this, right? Now let's give it a table name. It's important. So this is the series name. Series is the name of the table. So I will name it as series. Now, let's come back over here and let's say schema. Now, what is a schema? Schema is a structure, the schematic structure. That means in the table, what are the different columns that we have? So if you notice, switched off the table. Let me open that table again. All right, so if you notice, these column names, right, are part of the schema or part of the structure or the design of the table. Also, what is part of the schema is that, for example, series ID contains numeric data. You can see all the numbers are there, whereas these are text. Even this is text, right? Any alphanumeric values are considered text. These are considered numbers. And if you open the matches table, it has more variety of data. This one is numeric, this one is numeric, this is text, 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 this is date, right? This is venue, this is again text, 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 number again, number, 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 right? Numbers again, text, numbers. So these are different data types and they are all part of schema. One small thing I will make here as a change. I don't know why I did not make it. Because BigQuery requires, Google's BigQuery requires the date format in the table that you're importing, that you're uploading, to be in YYY-MM-DD format. 4 times Y-MM-DD format. So I will select this column, right click over here, go to format cell in Excel, change the format by changing the locale to United States and change it to this format, YYYY-MM-DD format, and then save it. Okay, and then I will upload it. So again, I go back to the Google BigQuery platform here, guys. I hope you all are here now. I will come to schema and I will select this option, auto detect, so that I'm not worried about defining the data type of each column that I'm importing. This Google BigQuery is intelligent enough to pick the data, read the data, and understand the data, the type of data that is there under each column, and then create the column as per that data type. So auto detect. Don't worry about
So can you come back again on how did you change the date formats?
Sure, Shivam. What I did was I went to Excel, the CSV file that I'd opened in Excel, Shivam. I selected the entire date column, right? I mean, the shortcut to select the entire date column is bring your cursor here, Control Shift down, Control Shift down. I selected that entire thing, right click over here, went to format cells, went to date, chosen this date format, YYYY-MM-DD. If you don't see one of the this as one of the types, just change the locale to United States and you will definitely see it. Locale you can change from here. These are the steps that you need to perform in Excel, and then save it.
Yeah.
Once it's saved, come back over here, go to schema, auto detect, right? Now, yeah, you're ready. Then click on create table. So which table are we creating? We're creating these series table right now. Click on create table. Now it says load job created. It's loading while creating the table as well. And it says series table created. And now you can see another drop down under this project, under this data set, which is for the series, right? Now let's do the same for the other table quickly. Create table, go to upload, go to browse, select the matches one this time, click open. It'll automatically understand the CSV format. Let's call it as matches. Auto detect, nothing else. Create table. Wait, load job created, matches created. It has created these tables. The tables are there. Now, how do I know what is there in these tables? Can I preview the data? Yes, you can. Just click on the 3 dots here. Let's click on open. When you open it, then there is a schema which will show you all the fields, the type of the field that those are. Integer means number, string means text, date means just the text, date. These are integer, these are string, looks all right to me. Right now, if you want, you can go to preview here. It show you the data. So it shows you all the data. Just verify a few records because there are multiple records, 6,417 records. Looks like everything is working fine here. So I'll close this tab. I close this tab. I come back over here. Similarly, I come over here, I open it, I preview it, make sure that everything is there. Yeah, very nice. Great. Now, in order to write our first SQL queries, how do I write it? So you go to matches, you go to the table, you go to 3 dots, and you write and you click on query. When you click on query, what it does is that it creates a new tab. Right now, couple of quick things about SQL. Right, SQL statements are divided into multiple different types, which are called as data definition language statements, DDL, which helps you to create the design. Data manipulation language statements, which are called as DML. if I were to define SQL, then I would say that SQL is divided into DDL, DML, DCL. You can definitely Google and find out more about these statements, but we are more concerned about manipulation of data more than defining the database or designing the database. That is done when we imported the schema as it is. And this is about control. This is used by the database administrators. We are not concerned about this. We will focus on manipulation, and within that, we will focus on one particular statement which helps us to extract the data or read the data out. Read the data from the tables. And that command to read the data from the tables is select. That is the SQL command that we will learn. Right? SQL command that we will focus on today, which is the command which is used by, we use 90% of the time by data analysts, right? To query the data, to extract the data from the data repositories. If you want to know more about, SQL commands, you can definitely watch my YouTube videos on Ivy Pro's YouTube channel. You'll find quite a bit of extensive discussion on other SQL commands as well. But today, we'll just focus ourselves into reading the data out and then summarizing the data a little bit from these large tables that we have imported. The command is very simple. The way we write it is, let me show you. We write SQL select command which helps us to read the data like this. So from, and then let me show you. So we write select from, generally where. Okay. What comes after from is your table name. Now, here the table name is preceded by a dot. You can see there is a dot here. And then what is this? If you remember, what is this? This is your
Data set.
the data set. Then what is this? This is your project. So you have to mention the project name, the data set name, and the table name in Google's BigQuery platform. But in many other platforms, you can default a particular data set to work at a time, but not over here. Anyway, so in this case, you have to put this entire information, the project name, and then a dot. It's like a folder structure dot. The data set name, then a dot, then the table name. Under pair of table name. Now, what is a tick here? Tick, you see these small things which look like single quote, but they're not really single quote. It's a symbol before number 1 in your keyboard. Just look at your number, look at your keyboard. You will find there is a character before number 1, right? Which looks like a sinusoidal wave, sine wave, and that is a tick symbol. So you have to put all these things under tick in Google's cloud platform, right? So, right now, it's not so bad actually. The reason why it's not so bad is, let's say I remove it, right? I just write ticks, right? And then I come over here, I write, in fact, let's say I don't even write ticks, right? I just come over here and I write series, or I write matches. Okay, not matches, maybe series. Now, if you write series and wait, okay, at times it works, at times it does not. Let's wait. At times it auto-suggests. Yeah, it is auto-suggesting now. So if you notice, it suggested, right? And then if you notice, it actually, there's another data set as well. So I will select this one. Cricket Analytics is the name of the project set, and .cricket.series. You can see this, right? So it automatically selects it also, right? Now, from this project, this data set, this table, where some condition, let's see it in Excel first, where the winner is Surrey. Imagine where the winner is, let's say India. I want to find out all the series data of all the series where the winner was India. So winner equals to under pair or double quotes, because India is going to be a text field, a text value, and then semicolon. Do you see this, guys? Semicolon is important. The reason why semicolon is important here, because that's how SQL compiler understands that is the end of SQL statement. right? Select from, but here it's showing some syntax error. You can see the syntax error over here. That's the beauty of this. Syntax error live, it gives you live debugging option. The select list must not be empty. It's saying something is wrong over here. See, after select, you have to specify what all columns that you want to extract from this table. So imagine the column that I want to extract from this table are the series, the season, and the winner. So alt tab, series, I write series, comma, season, comma, winner. See, suggest as well. You can press tab and select it also. Yeah, Gagan, you have a question?
No, actually, I'm just thinking for this one because you haven't done it before that. The following columns we have to select first.
Yes. Now, I selected this much and I clicked on run. The shortcut to run is Control Enter. And when I ran it, it gave me some result. Let me drag it a little bit up so that we can see the result a little better. So results, you can see the results over here. These are all those matches where India was the winner. And for such matches, we are interested to see the series name, the season it was played in, and who the winner was, right? And here it took only 0.3 seconds to work on such a large data. That's the advantage of using a BigQuery kind of a platform. But you know, series table is not very, very big, right? Let's look at some queries that we write. So these are called as queries. This is a business query. Let's look at some query that we will write on the matches table, right? Now, in the matches table, let's find out. So I'm going to write a comment here. And the comment will be, let's say, let's find the matches played in the oval, where the winner was India. All the matches played in the oval venue where the winner was India. Let's do that. Find the matches played at the oval where the winner was India, right? So I put it under pair of / and asterisk / That's how we write comments. Some English statement which will not be considered as SQL statement. Anyway, so I write select from, and I scroll down a little bit, from tab. You don't have to, you can write everything in one line, but it's good to write in different lines, especially when you're learning for the first time. From which table? The matches, right? Now, for matches this time, I'm going to write the complete thing. So let's write cricket. Now it shows cricket. This is the one project. And let's write cricket again. Okay, let's write matches. Perfect. I didn't have to type anything much, right? Now, as I said, where? See, SQL is generally not case sensitive in most of the platform that we work with, by the way. Where the venue is equal to the oval, under pair of double quotes. The reason why, because the oval is a text value, and because there are multiple conditions, the winner is equals to India and semicolon. And for such matches, this time I want to extract or read all the columns, not restricting to only specific columns, all the columns from the table. So in such a case, one option of extracting all the columns is you mention all these columns individually separated with a comma. For example, match ID, comma, series ID, comma, match details, comma, result, comma, scores, comma, date, comma, venue, comma, so and so forth. Instead, what you can also do is that you can write select asterisk and then run it. And when you do so, it says the query returned no results. Unfortunately, maybe in this data that we have, there are no matches that were played in the oval where the winner was India, right? Just to make sure that everything's fine, let's put the winner as Surrey, and let's see if we can get some data. Surrey, and control enter or click on enter to run it. In 0.3 second, 2.5 MB of data processed very quickly. That's actually quick, very quick. And you can see these are all the matches, and you can scroll right. You can see the winner here is Surrey, and the venue here is the owl. So many came, 39, right? And let's say if you want to find out what is the total number of such, I will repeat it. So Sriti, no problem at all. So Sriti, I think you understood what I have done in from, right? From, I just selected the matches table and a pair of ticks. And how did I write that? In order to write it, what I did is just first I wrote cricket, and it gave me this. Then I selected the dataset name. Then I wrote cricket again because there is a table name as dataset name there. And then I wrote matches and selected this and tick closed. That's a repository. That's a table where venue is equal to the owl, and the winner, because the question says there are two conditions, and the winner is equal to Surrey. And select star. Why? Because we're interested in selecting all the columns for the rows where these two conditions are met. So I run it. And if you notice the execution sequence, what is happening is first it is going to open this project, then this data set, then this table, because the from gets executed first. Then it finds from this table, it filters all the other rows except for the rows where these two conditions are met. And for such rows, what columns to display? Since I have written select star, it will display all the columns. If you use or condition, what would happen, Gagan, is it'll show you all those matches where the venue was the oval or the winner was Surrey. Now, what is save result? What you can do is, one of the beauty of working with Google Cloud Platform, BigQuery platform, is whatever result that we got over here, you can save that result as a CSV file locally in your machine, so that you can, if you want to do some analysis in Excel, you can bring this output into a CSV file. That's a CSV file saved locally, and it saved it. You can see over here, it downloaded it as well. And now I clicked on it, it's going to open it, and it opened it. And this is the result of that query that we wrote, Surrey. See, the winner is Surrey, and the venue is the oval. All these. Did you see this? Amit. Got it? Clear? Let me drag it down. Now, let's do a couple of quick queries, guys. I know I've taken a little extra time, but let's just quick queries. I want to summarize something. I want to find the total number of matches played in the oval. I want to find that. So I will just copy this query for the interest of time. Control C, Control V, where the venue is the oval, and I'm going to remove this part. Semicolon will remain. Everything is fine. The table is fine. The data source is fine. I will just write count, and then I will write count the match ID. Count the match count function, which is similar to Excel count function. Select it, run it. What it does is that it gives us a result saying 97 matches were played in the oval. Now, what if I want to find out matches played at the total number of matches played at different venues? I want to find out. Find the total number of matches played at different venues. Different venues, not just at the oval, but different venue. So how do I do that? So select from, and this from, I will write cricket again. I'm sorry, from cricket, this dot cricket again, this dot matches, right? Group by is an interesting SQL command which helps us to aggregate or group the data, because we want the total number of matches played at different venues. So we should group the data by what column? And the answer to that question is actually, if you imagine the output, the ideal output in this particular query is that we want venue in one side and we want the count of the number of matches. So venue and then count. That is the ideal output that we're looking at. So in such a case, what should we group the data by, aggregate the data by? What do you guys think? What do you guys think? We should group the data by what column here? We should group the data here by venue. Venue. Semicolon. Come over here. Select
Count.
venue, comma, count of matches played. Tab. Right? And this query is ready to run. Select it, run it, and you will find the number of matches played at different venues. You can see, right? Now you may be interested to say that, you know what, I want those venues to be at the top where most number of matches were played. So I want to sort the data in descending, decreasing order by the number of matches played. So how can I do that? So that's what the power of
DESC.
order the data by the second column, okay, the count of match and score IP. In which order? DESC order. Make it ascending, ascending. I made it descending. So there is a spelling mistake. That is why it's showing the red thing there. Select it, control, enter, run it. Now it is going to show the data in descending order. That's the only difference here, guys.
Pratik, shall we use, in case of match ID under the count section, can we use asterisk for that, so that we can also get the answer to it?
Well, here under this match ID, you can use asterisk as well, which basically means apply the count function on the column which contains the data for all the rows. But we'll not worry about it for now.
Okay.
But yeah, so essentially what we have done in this case is we found the total number of matches played at different venues. And the beauty of this is that you can keep saving these statements. You can keep them saved. Keep the query saved, so that next time when you want to do the same thing, you do not have to write these queries again. One last query, and we'll call it a day for, we'll call it a night. Let's say we want to find some information from both the tables together. So let's say list the series name and the series name and the series name and the result. Now the result column is in this matches table, and the series name column is there in the series table, right? This is the series name column. So we need data from two tables together. In such a case, and the result for each of India's match. So in such a case, we have to join the two tables on the basis of the common column. And what is the common column? Yeah, what is the common column between the two tables? As we had discussed earlier, series ID. You can see series ID is there in both the tables. So using the series ID, we will find the common rows between the two tables. So how do we do that? Using SQL from I'm sorry, from. Now here I'm going to write series. Wait, let's say it's not showing. Cricket. Here it shows matches and inner join with. So we write a command called as inner join with series. Using which column? Using series underscore ID, where winner is equals to, okay, the winner is there in both the tables. So we'll have to mention, okay. Let's forget about this. And the result, just write the result. This is the series name and the result. So the series name will come from the series table, which is called a series, and the result will come from the other table. And that's about it. Now it's a big query. It's going to try and fetch a lot of rows. But again, so 6,417 rows. But again, because it is BigQuery platform that you're using, it doesn't take time. So you can see this is the series name, this is the result. Does make sense, guys? So that's the beauty of working with BigQuery or running SQL queries on the cloud. So anyway, guys, today's session was just to kind of introduce you to two things: that SQL is not difficult. And what is the meaning of SQL? SQL is the language of databases speak, and SQL is used by human beings, and SQL is also used by reporting tools like Excel, Tableau, Python, Power BI to connect to the data repositories. Plus, the second thing that we learned today, probably new, was that we probably do not need to install anything to run SQL queries as long as you have access to data. You can actually use Google's cloud platform to learn and practice SQL quite comprehensively without even downloading any single software other than Chrome browser or the internet browser on your desktop. And if you noticed here, guys, that we actually ran on large amount of data without really realizing how much memory space, processing space, RAM that was taking because we used Google Cloud Platform. All right, guys, I hope you guys had a great time in today's session, guys. And remember, tomorrow we have tomorrow and day after tomorrow we have an exciting session, guys, coming in. Again, tomorrow you will actually you'll go one step further on the same data set, and you will actually create dashboard in Excel. Excellent opportunity to learn from an excellent faculty, one of the India's top faculty members. So do not miss out on tomorrow's session, and nor should you miss out on day after tomorrow's session with one of our star faculty for Python. Guys, I will be here for the next 2-3 minutes if you would have any question, but do feel free to explore our new cloud data engineering certificate program that we have launched, where all the things are done on the cloud, and that is a demand, most in demand skill in the data world. How do we work on creating data engineering technology stack and doing data science stuff on the cloud? All right, guys. Hope to see you guys again. Feel free to Google my name on on LinkedIn. If you want to get connected with me on LinkedIn, if you just Google my name, Prateek Ivy, you will find the first link that will come would be my link, and I'll be more than happy to accept your connection request, guys. And I'm there, as well as I'm there on Twitter. These are the two platforms that I remain active, and I'll be more than happy to get connected with you guys.
Sir, what is your Twitter handle?
Twitter handle is also over here. You can see this is my Twitter handle. Sorry about that. This is my Twitter handle, guys. Third link on Google. I'll be more than happy to get connected with you. Yes, so I'm here, guys. Should we have any question? I'm here for the next 4-5 minutes. Happy to answer any question that you guys have. Please.
Sir, can you re-explain the last query?
I will explain the last query. What I have done in the last query is that since I needed to show the series and result, these two column information, which come from two different tables. Hence, I had to join the two tables. If you notice here, if you notice here, the series name is there in the series table. You can see it over here. There's a series table. And the result column information is there in the matches table. Now, since we need data from two different tables together, hence we'll have to somehow merge these two tables. And whenever we say we want to join these two tables, there should ideally be a common column between the two tables. So in this case, the common column is series underscore ID. So what I have done here is that I've used an operation, SQL operation, to join the two tables called as inner join, which helps us to find common rows between two tables on the basis of a common column. So here I've joined the matches table with the series table using the series underscore ID column. So that is how we write it, from table 1 inner join table 2 using a common column under brackets. Then you will get access to all the columns from both the tables, and hence you will then be able to print series and result column information which come from two different tables together in one SQL command, which is what it has done.
Yes, sir. Thanks a lot, sir.
All right, guys. Do not forget
Thank
to
you,
attend tomorrow's class, guys. And day after tomorrow, if you want to get the certificate plus learning opportunity. All right, another question that has come. How much, Shayanthani is asked, how much does this data analysis skill development help in digital marketing? If someone wants to do social media, SQL. You see, what has happened is, Shayanthani, that in digital marketing as well, we end up creating a lot of web analytics data, Google analytics data, a lot of data gets created. So when you're working on a little large firm, even a small firm, I mean, a few thousands of clicks every day is also pretty large if you consider 1 year's data, 2 years of data. So if you know how to work with SQL, you know how to work with Excel, you know a little bit of Python, then you can easily analyze this data much deeper than what a normal digital marketer would be able to. So data analysis is something that is used in digital marketing very, very significantly and very frequently. Very, very frequently. And again, if you want to talk more about it, do feel free to reach out to me. This is my email address. My LinkedIn profile is also shared with you. Feel free to reach out, ping me on LinkedIn as well. I'll be more than happy to share more insights as to how you can use digital marketing skills over here. Thank you, everybody. It was great having you. Thank you for asking all the relevant questions, and we'll see you guys tomorrow again. Have a good one. Take care, everybody.
Thank you, sir. Have a nice.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.